Hello everyone, welcome to the session on analysis and design of algorithm. So in today's session we are going to learn next problem, that is sorting problem. For the sorting problem already we have learned the solution, that is selection sort using the brute force approach. So here we are going to learn the bubble sort a solution for the sorting problem using the brute force approach itself. But so little bit variations is there compared to selection sort. So in the selection sort, as we know that whenever we are comparing, for sorting the elements, whenever we are doing the comparison, we are taking the smallest element, as the name it is itself implying. We need to select the smallest element and then we need to place it in an appropriate position, and then we need to search for the second smallest, and then we need to place it in a second position, and then third smallest element we need to place it in a third position. Likewise we are going to do the sorting by searching the smallest element in the selection sort. In the bubble sort, so as we know that whenever we are sorting any kind of elements, so here we need to do what? Comparison between the elements that is present in the array. Okay, any list we can say. So here in the bubble sort, so if you take the example of 40, 10, 20, 50 and 60. So in the bubble sort, what we are going to do is we are going to do the comparison. Obviously we need to do the comparison in order to arrange the element in some order. We need to do what? We need to do comparison, right? But here a little tricky. So that is here nothing tricky. So direct straightforward approach, that is a brute force approach we are applying. That is here what we are doing here is we are just comparing the adjacent elements every time. So if the greatest elements comes, we need to swap that particular element. So likewise we are going to continue until the end of the array. So here we need to perform the number of passes based on the number of elements. So here we have 5 different elements. So your n will be is equal to what? 5. So therefore different passes whatever we are going to take will be 4. So 4 passes we are going to take. So pass 1, so and then pass 2, pass 3, pass 4 we are going to do. Okay, so in each and every iterations let me take the in array A, and the indices values we can represent using some of the integer values. Now what we are going to do in each passes is, so we are going to compare these adjacent elements. Okay, so of what? So the ith position we can say, so 0th position element and first position element we are going to compare, and then and also so once it is swapped, so 40 is greater than 10, so it is going to be swapped. So now first position element and the second position element should be compared. Next second position and third position should be compared, and also we have fourth position value also, so we are going up to fourth position. Okay, so we are going, see, observe here the in the passes, in the first pass we are going to 0 to third position. So first pass is going to be run for 0 to 3. Okay, and then in the second pass if you do the comparison, so here and whenever we are doing the comparison, 40 and 10, 40 comes here, 10 comes here. Next 40 is compared with 20, again 40 is greater than 20, so 40 comes here, 20 comes here, and then 40 is compared with 50. Yes, 40 is great, lesser than 50, so there is no swap, and then 50 will be compared with 60, so there is no swap since 60 is the largest element. So in order to do the comparison, observe here first element, second element, first element, second element, and then first position element, second position element, second position element and third position element, and then third position element and the fourth position element we are going to check. But if you go to the fourth position, so 4 to 5 we don't have any elements, so that we are not going to do the comparison at the first pass. So since we do the comparison as well as if required we need to do what? Swapping. Okay, if the largest element comes we need to shift on to the right hand side. So because of that reason swapping may occur. So in that in that while doing the swapping, if the largest element comes, then only we are swapping it into the right, we are shifting into the right. So therefore, so every time the largest element will be sit on to the top, bottom. Okay, so now at the first iteration, first largest element we have found and it will be placed in the last position. So likewise in the first pass we have got the result like that, and then next we are going to compare with 0th and first position. Next, so again 40 in the first iteration, 40 will be here and 20 will be here, 10 will be here. So that I have not written. Okay, while tracing it out we can look into it, okay, in briefly, but how exactly it works, I am just briefing it out. Okay, and then first position element and the second position element will be compared. Next, second position element and third position element will be compared, but third position and the fourth position is not going to be compared. Why? Because already the first biggest element will be saved at the last. Okay, in the bottom it will be saved. So because of that reason, no need to worry about that one. So in the second pass, so elements are going to be compared from where to where? 0th position to second position we are going to compare. Okay. Next in the third pass, 0th first position and for 0th position and the first position will be compared. Next, first position and the second position element will be compared. Since so second largest element have been compared, so because of that reason we are going up to 2. So now when it comes to pass 3, so third element also founded, that the largest element founded. So because of that reason we are stopping from 0 to 1, we are going up to 0 to 1, and then at the fourth place, so we are going to compare with 0th and 1. So because of that reason it is going up to 0 to 0. So that means that if you observe here, so 0 to 3, so that is nothing but what? So 0 to 3 is nothing but we can write, so 5 is nothing but what? You are given n, right? So this 3 can be written as minus 2. So 5 minus 2 is nothing but what? 3. So 5 is nothing but your n. So last but 1 means n minus 1 minus, in every iteration if you observe here, your indices value is going to be changed, right? So every time the indices value is keep on changing. So based on what? The number of passes, that can be considered as an j. Okay. So based on the number of passes, so I am going to add this value. So 0 minus 3. So that means that, so how can I obtain this is 5 minus 1. So that is going up to fourth position. That's why it is n minus 1 is, so 5 is nothing but n minus 1 I have written. Okay, so that is nothing but n is nothing but 5, 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay, next j is nothing but what? The number of passes you have taken. This is the first pass we are taking. So minus 1. So 5 minus 1 is 3. So we are going up to what? We are going up to third position. Third iteration we are going to consider. Okay. So likewise here also if you come in here, so 0 to 2, this can be written as what? N minus 1 minus j, that is nothing but 5 minus 1 minus j. What is the pass? Pass number is 2. So therefore this is 2. So like this we can write. So finally what we can write is, so your passes, so that is the number of passes will run from 1 to n. So that is this is what? This is n is 5, therefore this is n minus 1th place. Okay. So the number of passes whatever we are running, that will be from 1 to 4. So 1 to 4 is nothing but what? So 1 to 4 is 4 can be written as what? N minus 1, right? So if you are taking I as a pass number, I will run from I or j, whatever you want, you can take it. Okay, pass number. So j's should run from 1 to 4 passes if you have 5 elements. Okay, and in the similar way, in each iteration what we are doing, we need to check the elements. So from where to where that element should run. So if you consider the first iteration, in that we are going up to 0 to 3, right? So 0 and 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4. So that means that we are going up to which position? third position we are going. So because of that reason, that can be written as what? 5 minus 2. So 5 minus 2 is nothing but what? So 5 minus 1 minus 1. This can be written as 5 minus 1 minus 1. So this 5 minus 1, 5 means what? N minus 1 minus this 1, 2, 3. If you observe this iterations, definitely you will get the number of passes minus number of passes. So 1 is, so your j value, whatever the j value you have, if you substitute this, we will get the number of passes here. So that is n minus 1 minus j. Up to that iteration we need to go. Okay. So now in order to perform in each and every passes, we will get the largest element. It will be sit in the bottom. Okay. And then in each iteration what we need to do? We need to do the adjacent elements, the comparison between the adjacent elements. So in order to do the adjacent element comparison, we require one more variable. So for that we can take this one as an I runs from 0 to n minus 1 minus j, where j is what? Your number of passes. So if you have 5 elements, 4 passes. If you have 6 elements, 5 passes. If you have 100 passes, then you need to go for 99 passes, like that. Okay. So likewise the number of passes will change. So for that you required what? The comparison. For comparison we required one indices value, and for represent the number of passes we required one more indices value. Let us call that one as j, and for that comparison let me take the indices value as I. Okay, since we are playing with arrays, definitely we required what? Indices values, right? So because of that reason we required a for the passes one indices value, and for the comparison one more indices value we required. Okay. So next let us write the algorithm for this. So in order to run the passes, so j runs from 1 to where to where? So number of passes is 4, that is nothing but n minus 1, right? So next is for your I value for comparison. Okay. So for comparison every time starts with where? See 0, 0, 0 and 0. So 0 to up to what? See here this is up to n minus 1 minus j. So that is n minus 1, that is to represent the last position, n minus 1, and in each and every iteration what we are doing? So firstly we are going up to last position, but in the next iteration what happens? In the next iteration we are not going up to last position. Why? Because the last element will be will contain what? The largest element. So because of that reason I am not going to compare this element. So I am going up to this position. Next I am going to up to this position. So because of that reason n minus 1 minus, so the last element, the if you want to leave that particular pass, that is minus j we can have. Okay. So what we are doing? We are doing what? Just doing the comparison between the adjacent elements. How to use the adjacent elements? So if you have this position is ith position, what is the next element position? I plus 1 only. Therefore a of I, if it is an a of I position, then what will be this? So this will be a of I plus 1, right? So if first position element is greater than the second position element, then what we need to do? We need to do what? Swapping. So swap between what? A of I and a of I plus 1. Okay. So this is required. So this is end if, next end for and end for. So this is how we can sort the given array elements in an ascending order or descending order. Okay. So this will yield you in an ascending order. Okay. So let us write the algorithm for this. So algorithm okay. So what are all the inputs for this algorithm? Obviously an array containing of n elements, right? So an array of n elements. So the purpose to sort the given list of n elements right? So next inputs. What are the inputs? A, an array of how many elements? N elements. So what is n? So n is nothing but any positive integer. Any positive integer. What is the output we are expecting? So we are expecting the output an array and sorted n elements, right? So if you write the algorithm for j should start from 1 to n minus 1, do, why this? This is for what? The number of pass. Okay, and for I starts with 0 to, see, every time it starts with 0th position only and end up with what? So up to n minus 1 minus j. Do, this is for what? Comparison. So what we are doing? If the adjacent elements a of I is greater than a of j plus 1, what we need to do? We need to swap, right? So swap, so if you want you can write the pseudocode for swap, or else you can call the function swap, okay, by sending the two parameters swap. So swap of a of I and a of I plus 1, sorry. So swap, or the pseudocode for this swap is a of I, and into a of I am going to add I plus 1. So into a of I plus 1 position I am going to add the temporary value. So this is end if, end for and end for. So once you complete this, definitely you will get the elements in a sorted fashion. So what are the variable terms we have? J is varies from 1 to n minus 1, I is also varies, right, 0 to n minus 1 minus j, and what is the, every time what we are checking, a of I is greater than a of I plus 1 or not, right? And also we are doing this swapping. So for swapping directly we can write the array itself, right? So now let us take the same example and trace it out. So here we have a variable I, okay, sorry, j, that is to represent the pass, and then the variable I, and then we have a if statement if a of I is greater than a of I plus 1, right, and then your array elements, that is 40, 10, 20, 50 and 60. Okay. Now I starts with 1. So 1 and your j starts with 1 and I is what? 0. 0th position we have started. Now a of I is greater than a of I plus 1. So I value is what? 0. So let me take the indices values. Okay. Now 0th position value, what is 0th position value? A of 0 is 40. So 40 greater than a of 0 plus 1, that is a of 0 plus 1 is what? 1. In 1th position we have 10. So 40 greater than 10, is it true? Yes, it is true. If it is true, what is the action? So if a of I is greater than a of I plus 1, then we need to do what? Swap between those two elements, right? So in order to swap, we need to do what? Swapping here a of, so this will become 10, this will be 40, 20, 50 and 60. Next, I gets increments. Sorry. I is 1. See, once it is completed, next it will goes to I loop. So, I gets increments. So, that is I is 1. So, if I is equal to 1, now what happens? A of 1. So, in A of 1 what we have? 40 we have. 40 greater than 40 and A of 1 is what? I is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. In second position we have 20. So, 40 is greater than 20. This is also true. So, swapping is necessary. So, 10, 40, swap is necessary here. So, this will be become 20. This is your 40, 50 and 60. Right? The number of swaps are 2 now. Okay. Next, I gets increments 2. So, 40 again in the second position we have 40. So, greater than. So, second position to the next position is third position we have 50. So, this condition is false. If the condition is false, just it will goes to the I loop. So, I gets increments, I is 3. So, in the third position we have 50 and greater than in the fourth position, that is I plus 1 is what? 4. So, I plus 1 is 4, fourth position we have 60. So, 60, this is also false, no swap. So, therefore, after this iteration, this pass, the array elements will become 10, 20, 40, 50 and 60. Of course, whatever the numbers and the position value we have taken, so based on that already it is sorted. I know this, but computer doesn't know about this, right? So, we need to continue with all the procedure, right? So, now the first element came to the bottom, okay. So, this is the first pass result, the result of first pass. Next, now I gets increments, but I should run from up to where? 0 to n minus 1 minus j, right. So, now if I am incrementing 4, what happens? N is 5, 5 minus 1 is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. So, 4 less than 3, is it true? False. If it is false, it will come out of the loop. J gets increments, j now 2. So, now if it is 2, now it starts with what? Again 0. So, when j gets increments, I starts with 1, right. So, sorry 0. So, if it is starts with 0, so again we need to start with 0, 1, 2 and 3. So, now 0th position element, that is 10, is compared with next position element, that is 20. No swap, right. See, a of I is greater than a of I plus 1, this is false. If it is false, so simply I gets increments. What? I is what? 1. So, in first position we have what? 20. 20 greater than I plus 1 is 2. So, a of 2, 40 we have. This is also false. So, simply I gets increments 2. In the second position we have 40. So, in the third position we have 50. This is also false. No swap, right. So, it will be as it is. So, now what happens? So, this gets increments, but according to the condition it's go up to n minus 1 minus j. So, loop will get terminated. So, j gets increments 3. Now, it will start with 0. 0th position element is what? So, after this pass 10, 20, 40, 50, 60, these two elements get passed. I mean to say, in the second pass 2 elements got sorted. Now, so 10 greater than 20 false. So, next I gets increments. So, 20 greater than 40 false. So, if it is false, I gets increments. So, I is 2. If I is 2, so in the second position we have value, but next position we don't have any value, already it is sorted one. So, that is n minus 1 minus j is false. So, it will come out of the loop. So, at the third pass we have a result 10, 20, 40, 50 and 60. So, these 3 elements got swapped, or these 3 elements got sorted after third pass. Now, what happens? So, the I gets terminated. So, if it is I gets terminated, where it will go? It will goes to jth loop. So, j is 4 now. So fourth pass, so I starts with 0. So 0th position element is 10, 10 greater than 20 is false. If it is false, there is no swapping. If there is no swap, then I gets increments. What is I? 1. Of course, we have 1, but so in the next position, we don't have any elements to do sort. Already sorted one. So because of that reason, we are not going to next position. So now what happens? So it will come out of the loop. If it is coming out of the loop, so before that, your array elements will be after fourth pass 20, 40, 50 and 60. So up to these element got sorted. So remaining with what? Only one element. So as we know that if you have only one element, how can you do sorting, right? So if you don't have any another element to do comparison, how can you say this is the greatest one or the least one, right? We can't say that, right? So because of that reason, as we know that if you have only one element, there is no need to go for what? Sorting. So we will end the passes here. So this for loop will terminate. So J gets terminated. So once you get terminated, your array elements will be in the sorted fashion. So 10, 20, 40, 50 and 60. So every time if you observe this passes, okay, the last line is 10, okay. So if you observe this, every time your array elements look like popping up, right? So it look like a air bubble space, okay. So it look like a air bubble, right? See, so smaller one, so on top of that bigger one, another bigger one and then another bigger one. So it is looking like a air bubbles are passing in the air, right? So likewise, so that's why this sorting is called as a bubble sort. It's look like a air bubble, right? So it is in the increasing order your array element look like, okay. So every time the largest element come to the bottom. So here, so like this we can do the sorting, okay. So then how to do the analysis for this algorithm? So how can we say that? So how much time it has been taken to execute this particular program, or else in order to sort the n elements, how much time this algorithm takes? Let us calculate. So now let us learn how to calculate the time taken to sort the given array of n elements, right? So for this bubble sort, okay. So as we know that, so whatever the algorithm we have written, that is an iterative algorithm, right? So in order to analyze the algorithm, we have 5 different steps. So what we need to do? So first we need to identify the input parameters. So if you observe this algorithm, what are the input parameters we have? We have only A, that is a array of how many elements? N elements. So therefore, what is the size of the input here? So the size of the input is n elements, okay. So the parameter to be identified is the input size, that is n, okay. So the first step for analyzing the algorithm, the size of the input n. Second step, what is the second step for analyzing the algorithm? That is, so what is the basic operation of this algorithm? What is the basic operation of this algorithm? Comparison. If you consider any sorting algorithm, definitely the basic operation is what? So if I want to arrange something, so what I need to do? We need to do what? Comparison. So comparison, so this statement is the comparison statement we have. So that is the basic operation is comparison, that is if A of I is greater than A of I plus 1, okay. So action is not the basic operation, that is swap is not the basic operation, condition whatever we are checking, that is our basic operation. Okay, comparison. Okay, so third step, the number of steps taken to execute. So that is the number of times the basic operation executed. Is it based on only on input? Obviously. So we have went up to what? The last element of the array, right? So comparison has been made from starting to end. So because of that reason, the number of times BO executed is based on what? Only on input size n. Therefore, there is no best case and average case. Therefore, what is the time efficiency? What we need to do in the fourth step, since it is an iterative, we need to set up what? Summation equation. So how to set up summation equation? So where the basic operation is present, we need to look into what? The for loops, right? So here how many for loops we have? 2 for loops. Definitely how many summation equation we obtain? 2, right? So that is from I starts with 0 to n minus 1 minus j and j starts with 1 to n minus 1. So let us write that summation. Firstly, first for loop j is equal to 1 to n minus 1, and second loop is I is equal to 0 to n minus 1 minus j into, so for each iteration one comparison we are doing, right? So it will take 1 unit of time. So therefore 1 unit of time. So now, so separately we can't solve this equation. Fifth step, we need to solve for what? T of n. So we need to obtain a polynomial equation using this summation, by solving the summation equation, right? So in order to solve the summation equation, we can't separate these terms. Why? Because j is the variable and this is dependent on what? The upper bound of this I, right? So here 2 terms are there, I and j, where this j is dependent on this I variable. So because of that reason we can't separate it and we can't separately solve this equation. So because of that reason, first solve the innermost one. Okay, j is equal to 1 to n minus 1. Now what happens? I is equal to 0 to n minus 1 minus j, my 1, that is nothing but we need to apply what? Upper bound minus lower bound. So that is n minus 1 minus j minus 0 plus 1. Upper bound minus lower bound plus 1 is the formula. So plus 1 minus 1 get cancelled, you remaining with n minus j. Now you have 2 different terms, n and j. We need to apply the summation equation for those 2 separately. So for that what we will get? J is equal to 1 to n minus 1 n minus summation j is equal to 1 to n minus 1 j. Sorry, j. Okay. So if you saw, now you can solve simultaneously. Now j is equal to 1 to m minus 1. N minus 1 is there, but what is a variable term here? J, right? So therefore this n will become what? Constant, right? So take it out, n. Now if you take this one out, so you will remain with 1. So then you can apply which formula? Upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. So that is n minus 1 minus 1 plus 1. Upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. Okay. Next minus, now j is equal to 1 to n minus 1 j. Therefore j is a variable term. Therefore we need to apply what? Summation I is equal to 0 to n, 1 to n I. So if you have a formula n minus 1 divided by 2, right? But here in the upper bound we have n minus 1. So if you have n minus 1, just replace n with n minus 1, that's it. N minus 1, n minus 1 minus 1. See, already n is present, n minus 1, or another a minus 1 is there, that is minus 1. So divided by 2, n minus 1 and n minus 1 is minus 2, n minus 2 divided by 2. So in order to get this equation, So we need to apply that. So that is n minus 1 into n minus 2, okay, divided by 2. So if you solve this, so plus 1 minus 1 get cancelled, n minus 1 is remaining. Here also you have n minus 1. So we can take what? We can take the common term, right? N minus 1 is common here. So T of n is equal to, if you take n minus 1 as a common factor, what is remaining? N minus 1 if you are taking out, so you will remain with n minus, okay, and here you have n minus 2 divided by 2, right? So now what happens? N minus 1, and here if you take the LCM, 2n minus n, minus into minus is plus 2 divided by 2, right? So now so 2n minus n is what? N minus, sorry, n plus 2. So n minus 1 and so n plus 2 divided by 2. So if you solve this one, n into n is n square plus n into 2 is 2n minus n minus 2 divided by 2, right? So now finally T of n is equal to n square plus 2n minus n is n minus 2 divided by 2, approximately n square divided by 2. Okay. So therefore your T of n belongs to big O of n square. So within n square only, n square times maximum of n square times your basic operation is going to be executed. Actually it is n square plus n minus 2 divided by 2 times it is going to be represented, but whenever we are representing our algorithm efficiency, we are going to represent in an order of growth of the algorithm. So here the highest order term will be considered as an order of growth. So highest order degree of this equation is 2, that is n square. So our time efficiency of this algorithm is what? N square times. So this is how we can calculate the number of times the basic operation executed. Thank you. So in the next session we are going to learn the searching problem. So the solution for the searching problem using brute force approach. Okay. Thank you.